Welcome to Balls and Brews. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Pod 49.
49.
Have you had this one before? See?
I don't know if I've ever had this before. This is... It's tasty. It's dark, as you can tell, everybody. Chuck, what are we sipping? Sipping on?
Sipping on some Dragon's Milk. This is a bomber. So I don't know if we've split several beers, but I don't know if we've ever split a bomber. This is what they define as one, which is it's like 26 ounces. It's a pint plus 9.
Pint plus 9?
Yeah. So that's meant to be shared, y'all. It's 11%er. It's a bourbon barrel aged stout. If you take one of those down yourself, you're gonna be feeling it pretty good, pretty quick.
Yeah. Knew it was fucking barrel.
Yeah, it is. Oh, right off the top, you get it. But it will mellow as it opens. It always does. So shout out to them coming out of Holland, Michigan. So that's why they're called New Holland Brewing. Makes sense. Can's pretty legit. Well, it's a bottle actually this time, but you'll find this pretty easily. Got this at Lee's. So they also make a killer white stout.
Really? What's
Yes.
the white stout entail?
It's it's like it's more of a coffee stout. You would love it. I tried to find it. I couldn't. I could probably track it down, but I haven't seen it in a while. Maybe it was a rotational or a seasonal. Maybe they don't make it anymore. But it was much heavier on the coffee and lesser on the barrel. There was like really no barrel. It was more just like kind of that like. Do you know when they use like green coffee beans to make coffee? Do you know what I'm talking about? And it kind of has more that like floral coffee. Does that make any sense? No? Okay.
Not tracking.
Not tracking. That's okay. It's just it's I'll have to find some now because now the build up to what the actual flavor is at its peak. So I'll track some down and we'll have some on the pod. But they make a white stout that's phenomenal as well.
So I was telling you guys that after Brouhaha, one of my favorite brewskis was from Tonopah Brewing. It was at Mounds of Love, that pastry stout.
Okay.
Well, spent a little time in Tonopah last weekend.
Hey.
So guess what Zach had? I went and found it, and me, Josh, and Johnny all had it again at Tonopah Brewing, dude. It was
on tap.
On tap, 7. And it tells you on the menu. I took a picture of the menu. It literally says 7% or 7 ounces.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you get a 7 ounce, dude, and it was so good. But it's a wonder.
Meaning per person? Oh, would they give you enough? They'll still give you more though, right? You're just saying, no.
7 ounce.
Those little guys. That's
Well, it was a cool glass that they poured it into.
Absolutely,
Dude.
more of like a tulip.
Yep. So we had that, and then they had Well, they had like 24 beers on tap, dude.
Wow.
That's a lot. Sick, dude. I had a Guinness type nitro beer from them. It was like really, really like a Guinness. Like that light, and it was even like a low percentage like a Guinness. That was good. The girls had a hazy that was delicious from there, and then they had did they do the double second? They might have had their second beer might have been this double IPA.
Dude,
they were
good.
both delicious.
This is good. I forgot how good you were, Dragon's Milk.
What have you guys been sipping?
Dude, that's rad though. Like I love. Was that your first time out at that brewery?
No,
obviously you've had the hack because
we've been there. We usually stop in every time we go down because Kai's mom,
his family is out there still, right?
Right, but her shop, her jewelry shop. She has turquoise jewelry, which my wife got a sweet fucking cuff.
Cool.
But it's right next door. Tonopah Trading Company. Shout out. Go check it out if you're going through Tonopah. It's it's all turquoise and shit like that, different colors of turquoise, dude. There's some beautiful pieces in there. So the girls are in there shopping, and once the guys look around enough, we're like, all right, we'll see you guys next door.
Let's go get some pints.
So we start going down to get pints. The girls came down a little bit later,
nice.
But surprisingly 24 beers on tap.
That's a lot for one brewery to put out. Like, it's not unheard of, but it's a
tall number.
Well, yeah, because in theory, it's not 24 of the same kinds of beers. You're making a bunch of different kind of stuff, right? Which means your ingredient list has to be fucking heavy. Like,
yeah, let me pull it up.
That's pretty fucking cool.
While I'm pulling this up, what have you guys been drinking lately?
Man, you guys pod. I'm sorry, I've been letting you down. I've been on the side, low key, drinking some really shitty stuff.
Okay, so 25 beers, and my phone did a crappy job taking a picture.
Phone did a crappy job. 25 though.
Galactic Wolf was was the hazy.
That sounds
That
cool.
one was it was really good.
Nice.
Like, and it wasn't too much my hazy. It was that in between of you get the hazy, but still like have that hops. You know, not like where it's like just my kind of type where it's just like a hella chocolate or fruity. But yeah, my phone did a shitty job taking pictures. But I had the Eclipse Stout.
Nice.
Oh. Somebody had the coconut IPA is what the girl's second beer was. It wasn't. It was good, dude.
Okay.
It was good.
Okay.
So yeah, everybody kind of went a couple different ways. But,
Hell yeah.
So I think between all of us, we had at least 6 or 7 beers off the menu,
which is probably why, with that many beers on the wall. If I go so many times, I'm getting a flight, right? Like for real though. Like I do multiple flights, even 25 beers. That's a.
Yeah.
I'm drinking it. Just give me a little 1 ounce. Exactly. I want to just know. I got FOMO, dog. I don't want to not know.
They have a hard coffee I wanted to try, but I didn't get around to it.
Sure.
They have pale ales. They have a Tombstone Light, which my buddy Donnie drank because it's like a Coors Light. And he doesn't drink. He doesn't drink beer. So they have a bunch of beers, and it was like a good spot. So if you roll through, I'd suggest stopping and getting some of those brewskis.
Nice.
So I did what was funny, and I took a picture of it, and now I'm glad that you reminded me of it, was the Tropical Force by Voodoo Ranger. Found a tall boy of that. Yeah, I found a tall boy of that at 7-Eleven. You guys, okay.
I like that one better than the fruit.
I've been going down the dirt McGirt road when it comes to my alcohol on low key. Like I've been drinking micheladas and fucking like just these. Like I've been really falling in love with this half and half. This Arnold Palmer.
You've been drinking those Arnold Palmers.
The ones made by Two Hoots though. It's a different company, but it's tea and lemonade with alcohol. I love that. As is, like those Arizonas, I can smack those. So having a little booze in there is kind of nice. But then so you don't get
hungover off of like those like half and halves and shit like that.
Holy sweet shit, dude! I've been up since 6 a.m. editing older pods and going to the gym and all sorts of different shit. So I woke up on you guys inside, I guess, to my Friday night. I woke up on my sectional at 3 a.m. because I was editing the pods while I was drinking all of that shit. And I was a little fuzzy this morning, but thank God for pre-workout, and here we are. So sorry with the puzz. So to get back to the Voodoo Ranger Tropical, it was the least of the fruit forward, which is funny that you like that. Then
I think that
you're talking about the fruit force, aren't you?
I'm talking about the fruit force.
There's the juice and the fruit.
They got a new one though.
Right, the tropical. That's what I'm saying. No, it came in a green can, and he had like an aviator helmet on. It was a fucking cool can.
So I forgot to. I think that was one of the ones I missed from the brouhaha telling you guys about. I had that one. I think the fruit force is too Hawaiian punchy for me.
I think that's why I like it, which is kind of funny.
It's different.
I'd rather have the tropical, which I thought was way mellower, and it like was kind of more. I
think it's just because I can kind of drink it like Kool-Aid. My brain almost just thinks that it is Hawaiian punch, and then all of a sudden I'm just drinking fucking 9.5ers like they're going out of style.
9.5ers with those.
Welcome to the jungle, boys. Like if you can find things that you can mask and still enjoy the alcohol content. It's fucking impressive. It's a great 9.5. Yeah,
called whiskey.
I mean, that's not. I tried some larceny. So, here's something.
How'd you like that?
So tying into that real quick, I went and did a smash room. Have you guys ever heard of this?
Yeah.
It was so fucking fun. I heavily suggest you guys go and do it. Have you done one?
We've donated to it.
We've done it. Heather loves them. She does it with a friend on the regular, actually. A good stress reliever of sorts.
It's amazing, dude. We had so much fun. I booked one out like for a Christmas gift to everybody, and then we finally did it like last week. And dude, so much fun. And then the reason it's a bar as well. So after we were done,
of course.
My pops, like he was mentioning to you that he wanted to try the larceny when we were watching the Super Bowl, and he called it, and the guy's like, "Oh, I have it." It was hot. It was super hot. It's a 60%. It's a 60%. It's 121 proof. I was like, Pops, do you know what you're calling here? He was like, yeah. And I was like, we're not doing this straight up. I'm putting some rocks in mine. You can do whatever you want. But I read the bottle before he poured it because I was like, let me see the bottle.
That proof is.
I'm not trying to go at the fucking bar. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Give you some
now, once it mellowed, super good. Barrel, I don't mind when the heat is up front. It didn't hit, it's when it hits your throat that I can't do the heat.
I don't want it here.
Right, exactly. So it was just up front and nice barrel. So I knew it was bourbon. I knew it was a single bourbon. So I knew it was going to be hot and good.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely. He did a proper pour. It was basically like 2 real good sips of it. So yeah, I enjoyed it, and I had that paired with a Marinberry 2-town cider, which is always good. That's kind of a cider you can find on tap in some different places.
2 Towns has really been hitting it up lately. They got their taps everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And like, yeah, I think they're from Oregon.
I don't know.
Sure.
I mean, that is a state that exists. I know that much, and I think they are from there. They could be wrong.
Let's go for
wait.
I'll go for it, Timon.
No, wait a minute.
Yeah, I was just
Back it
gonna
up.
say, back it up a little bit.
Hey.
I went to Mexical last night.
Oh, nice.
So Henry's favorite margarita there is a jalapeno pineapple one.
Oh.
I went with the mezcal. Get that
My
smoky
boy.
margarita.
I've been feeling mezcals recently for sure.
Yeah, something about it.
Every time I go there, I get soul.
I know you mentioned that.
That's
yeah.
all I want is a
How
sauce.
is the food though? Right?
Oh man, okay. So I don't
what'd you
remember
get?
them having.
We're all foodies as well, so.
Quesadilla tacos.
Quesadilla? Nice.
And it was
The what?
It was good. It hit.
Quesadilla?
Yeah, they have those. You haven't. They're.
I haven't had that.
Oh,
from
dude,
there
they're
yet.
hella good from there.
Now, is it okay? Now, see, there is a level where there is too much cheese to that.
Not
Nope,
too much.
nope.
cheese.
No, not
Not
too
at all.
much. It's
It's
perfect
legit.
because you want to taste that meat. When that meat
Yeah,
is succulent, you
you're
get that nice
definitely
red
getting-
consomme sauce
the
with it.
main-
Nah, yeah.
Did you do
Oh,
any of
dope.
the a la carte tacos? My go-to is the El Pastor. That's like my go-to there. They so much full of flavor. They're El Pastor, and then I do
Oh,
get
yeah.
the whatever you call that thing.
I've tried them all because pretty much all of them. I leaned away from the octopus because octopus is a little chewy for me.
Very chewy. Not bad flavor. When it's grilled, you can kind of get rid of some of the chewiness, but
But
I ain't ever ordering fucking octopus, dude.
one of my favorites there is
speaking
actually,
of which, we need to go get some sushi, y'all. I've been craving that shit. So anyway, continue with the. Don't let me derail you.
Yeah, but one of my favorites there is the duck, and I like to get it in the enchilada.
really?
Duck
opposed
à la
to the
orange.
A duck,
taco,
huh?
Just because it's. Have you had it
A
there?
full duck.
Nope.
It's very buttery, and
I'm
I
sure.
like that.
Oh, nice and
I love
fat,
that.
succulent. Absolutely. No, duck when it's made right is fantastic.
So yeah, I had one of the quesadillas, tacos, and the duck enchilada, and that was good.
Nice. With a little mezcal. That sounds like a nice evening, man.
That was
Hell
nice.
yeah.
As far as beers go, like I've just been finishing off some of the extra pod beers.
Me too. Me
And-
too. Some dank little IPAs have been working their way into my diet.
I've kind of been on a kick lately where I have beer for the next I don't know how many pods, just because I went to craft after this.
Oh,
talked about
Jesus,
it.
dude.
That's
He's
my boy.
He's addicted, dude.
I got him. I got you pouring beer in glasses, and I got you going to craft. Welcome to the pod.
So yeah, I got a bunch of singles from them. But then there's a couple 6-packs I just stumbled across. I was like, oh, well, I gotta get you.
Well, how about that?
Well, I mean, we don't.
Oop, I tripped and I fell into a nice case of beer.
Yeah, pretty much. And I didn't bring it this pod. This one has a couple singles, but I have more singles and 2 6-packs just sitting at home, just waiting to be drank.
I told Charlie that
I don't think that's an over consumption either. I think that's a proper amount to keep in reserve.
Well, I mean, if
You should see this
compound-
man's fridge sometimes.
If you compound that, yeah, true. He does carry more.
He
beer than
provides
I
for the
have regularly.
family. He's like, come on over, motherfuckers. The fridge is full.
But I also, I mean, I already told you guys about that spending spree I had on the wine.
It happens.
I used
It
to have
happens.
a bunch of wine. I got a bunch of hard alcohol in the house too.
Bro, it's okay. You walked into my room and saw what I did with the shoe collection. Jesus Christ, man. We all have vices.
I told Charlie that when I went to Ben's the other day, they had a bunch of Mother Earth and Urban Root beers. They just weren't in the fridge; they were on the shelf, and I was
Sure.
like, "Damn, dude, I didn't expect." I was like, "Damn, I didn't expect this Ben's
Both
to be
of those
fucking
breweries, man. We're going to Sacramento sometimes in the next 3 to 6 months. We will stage out a day to go there. If we got to
Road
bring
trip,
the family,
brewery
if we
trip,
got to bring
yeah.
the ladies as well, whatever we got to do to get down there, we need to hit up that brewery. It's too goddamn close not to go
Urban
and
Roots.
get some shit on tap.
For sure.
Sacramento's not my favorite city in the world, but hey, we just in and out. You can just pop, just right over the hill, get some brewskis, bring some home. Maybe they got some really special rotator shit that we've never had. Ooh,
Something for the pod.
ooh. Okay. Anyway,
So let's go from a cool beer talk into something that
that was a lot. I like that.
kind of was fucking stupid. All-Star Weekend. I like to get your guys' opinions on All-Star Weekend, and I also like to get, if you have a solution to make the game better, I like to get that too. Charlie, let's start with you on this one.
miss the NBA when they were.
Kobe's got to be rolling in his grave, bro.
This is because this is the fallout of when people are too nice to each other. They're friends. They want to go out. They click up. It's back in the day, man, when you had to carry your own franchise and you were the all-star that was representing your franchise. East versus West was fierce. They went out there and they played games, man. Like, the all-star game was a matter of pride to go out there and be the best of, defense was played. Now, it was not played as intense as the regular season, but they kept games under 140 even in the All-Star games back in the day. They were 120 maybe, 130 kind of thing in the All-Star. So, I mean, yes, elevated scoring still, but it's so laughable. This 200 points, what are we doing? We're just having a shoot-around. We're just having a glorified shoot-around.
Jogging around up and down the court.
Who even cares who's on the court then? Because it's not the best of the best performing at their best level. That's 60% battery. That's going out. They could have gone out there in joggers and played the same fucking game. The skills competitions and all that kind of stuff, super cool. We talked about the 3-point contest between Curry and Ionescu, and that lived up to the hype. And the dunk contest is pretty cool. So the surrounding things are still pretty legit, but the game itself was.
So what you think they should do about the game?
The one suggestion that I read, I guess, it's kind of how the MLB treats their All-Star game, where the winner gets the home court advantage in the NBA Finals, regardless of seed. If the West wins it, then the West, if they're the 7th seed in the West or whatever, playing the 1 seed in the East, they still get the home court advantage. I think that that's something to play for, because if you look at series in the NBA, the team that holds home court traditionally wins those series. So you got to incentivize it. It's a lot like what they did with this in-season tournament, where they're trying to get these games that they say don't matter to matter more. And it's sad because you want to see the best play the best, and but the NFL was smart because they did the exact opposite. They toned it down and they knew what their all-star was, and they're like, we're just going to play flag football and we're not going to take it seriously. So and Zach bought into that.
And it's even you're playing from the 45-yard line, so it's a couple plays, you're just throwing it 7-on-7, boom.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. Yeah. They know it's a glorified practice.
And then boom, it's your team scores, you bring in the second set, they go out and play, you bring in the and everybody gets to play. So Trev, with that
go for it, yeah. Lead in, I was just gonna say maybe they should just get rid of it like the NFL did and make it something more fun.
That's what I was gonna say. Lean into the campiness.
Kind of
lean into the campiness thing.
Game instead of a competitive
mimicking an exhibition game.
Yeah. Because the players just, like you're talking about, most of them. I won't say all of them. Some players still care, but most of the players, it's just.
Dribble the
exactly.
ball, pass it, shoot it. Oh, I played some defense. Oh, rebound. Oh, pass, 3-point from the fucking logo.
And I've heard a bunch of ideas, and maybe one of them could work, and how to make that better. But I don't know. I think at this point it might just be. It might just be past it and just do something else.
My one thing is, what about a 3-on-3 and make it half court, and then you have
the big three,
and you have a little tournament. So there's 24 players, right, that make the All-Star weekend. You get 12 from each side, so you get 4 teams of 3 on each side, or
no, what you do is you strip it down, and they play tournaments of 21, and then the winner gets $500,000 extra dollars.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you
you let the big man beat the shit out of the little guys, and then.
You just do, go 3-on-3 and that was one thought I had. I do like it making for the.
Well, they do the big 3. That's the model around Ice Cubes and the big 3 with retired ballers that still want to play. And that's cool.
I think they do a 3-on-3. That'd be kind of cool. And then it makes it not so it's half court, so you don't have to run back and forth. It's just right there. And then I also think that
it does need some change.
Dude, the fucking slam dunk contest, it was okay, but. The dude that's winning the last few years isn't even in the NBA. He's a G leaguer.
Right. We're not even. They sign him to a 10-dayer so that he can perform in the dunk contest. Yeah. Then he goes back to the G League.
That's definitely what hurts the dunk contest the most. Not having those stars, but none of the stars want to do it and then mess up or have their ridicule of not
land wrong and pull some shit. Or I mean, to be fair, Jaylen Brown was out there, doing his thing. He's a fucking all-star. Like he's, so I can't necessarily. The talent level was at least higher than it has been in some previous years. But dude, if you look, oh my god, at the 80s and the 90s, their dunk contests, even the early thousands was the peak when Vince Carter was putting his arm through the fucking rim and like Jay Rich was doing all sorts of, oh my god, dude. The dunk contest.
Kobe did under the leg one to win.
Yeah, the dunk contest used to be insane, right? But only his rookie year, exactly. So it's like, even that was like great. Jordan was literally known for the dunk contest. Like, granted, yes, he won obviously a lot of titles, and he's 6-0, blah blah blah.
Overrated. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Just kidding.
Okay, we're not gonna open up that can of worms.
No,
but
I don't think that.
Like his most iconic photo is jumping off from the free throw line. Is that not it? Or maybe the fadeaway in there's a couple. He's got a lot. He's got a couple of very, very iconic ones. The ones against the Cavs where he does that fucking fadeaway in Game 5 to lock that up in like 84, 85 or whatever that was. And then the Brian Russell one in the finals against the Jazz. But I'm talking about everybody knows the one from the free throw line, right? Yeah. That was in the dunk contest. That wasn't just him doing, like, that was live. That shot is iconic for that fucking reason. And it's sad that, once again, these all-stars do not respect all of that. Well, to me. I mean, I'm just a fan sitting on my fucking couch, but,
Well, like you were talking about before, the drive isn't there. They're friends now. The free agency
What's up, guys?
has changed everything. And it's a different game. And they're
not killers. We don't have killers anymore. Do we have any killers left? Any? I mean, Steph is a low-key killer, but he doesn't wear it on his sleeve the way that, like, I'm talking like you knew when you were going to play somebody. LeBron's not a killer anymore. He acts like one. He's not. Like,
Steph has that fun side to him, right? But he likes to play the villain.
He's a low key killer. When he gets going, absolutely. But he's not Jordan. He's not. No. He's not Kobe. He's not. These guys that you fear when you go out on the court, right? Like, I just don't know if that's there. Which, I mean, is fine that the NBA has changed to. Credit to them for staying with the times. They always know how to get the younger fan base. They're very intelligent in their marketing, and like there's a lot of good in the NBA in that direction, but the players are getting soft, bro. Fuck.
I mean, as far as athletics go and sports go, it feels like the softer league.
Doesn't it though? And like it's getting harder and harder to defend.
Sidebar. So, okay, these players seem more entitled in basketball because of everything they're given, the player empowerment, which is great, except when those players don't take responsibility when they do something and then they just point at somebody else for whatever it is, getting a coach fired, playing GM and bringing in players. If you're going to make those moves, if you want that player empowerment, then you got to step up and say, yeah, okay, I fucked it up.
You got to eat the turd sandwich when it,
we're gonna work to make it better. Instead of like, just pointing the finger. No, it was this guy. It was that guy. No, come on, man. It's sad.
Well, what it is, and we've commented on this, Zach. We know you like killers too. Is that you need you just need to. It's your team. You seize control of it, and you run the fucking league. You don't go looking around to team up with this guy and that guy. And now, if your team just so happens to trade for somebody that you click with, then dope. But you don't go out and literally in the offseason say, well, I love this guy and he's a homie of mine, so I want him to come play with me. Like,
well, I think it is important that you have that chemistry with
sure, of course, other players. Team chemistry is massive.
Wanting to bring in another star, you need more than just one to get it done. But at the same end, you gotta.
I guess Kawhi was probably the last time to just one All-Star or one Superstar won a chip, like back in Toronto where he kind of went up there. Dude, it's one of the funniest sound bites. Please look that up. That shit is sick.
With Siakam. And now Siakam ain't even on the team.
Yeah, Siakam's in Indiana, which, so we're going to get into some...
let's dive into
we're going to segue? Let's get it. Let's go into... So we're going to give a breakdown of the current playoff listings, right? Or not playoff listings,
Yeah,
but
we're
the
gonna
1 through 10s.
We'll go through 1 through 10 and maybe touch on some teams, and just we'll talk about each team as we kind of go through it, because there's some news with each team. I know Charlie's got beef with a team.
Well, I think we all have a mild beef with this here, situation. But overall, NBA.
We're down the home stretch now, boys.
Work on the All-Star game, okay? I think it's a product that you really need to adapt to the times now, because it's not working in its current iteration.
Do you want to hit that drip? Or you just want to go with it?
I don't give a shit. Here we go. We going. We live
we
pouring.
got
we live pouring, y'all.
Since we're all sharing out of the big bottle, we got a little bottle followed up with. I'm pretty sure we've had this on as a backup.
Again, yes, correct.
On some of the other pods, the Red Trolley Ale by Carl Strauss.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great beer. Carl Strauss in general, I've had a few of their other beers, and they're fantastic. 5.8, I wrote this down. Yeah, 5.8, straight out of San Diego, California, which is, of course, German for a whale's vagina.
Of course.
Let bygones be bygones. Anyway, no, this is a really solid red. I don't even need to taste it to tell you how good it is. It's the definition of what you need in a red. How'd we do pour wise?
I mean,
okay, we gotta wait for Z. We got fucking Mr. Not barrel over here.
I'm just giving us a little.
He gives me shit when I don't drink, quick enough. So come on, Daddy, let's get at it. There we go. There we go.
Sorry, I'm on the.
Here we go.
Sorry, I'm on the mend.
You guys, that's true. Struggle Bus was coming. What happened last night to you, Z?
Went to Fork.
Hey now.
It's a great restaurant. They do a food. It's basically a set menu.
A pairing.
You get a salad, you get a soup, you get an entree, and then you get a dessert.
Then a handy on the way out. It's perfect.
And then I paired it with wine, or who we went with all paired it with wine, and it was fucking spot on, as they say.
Right, so it's family style serving, a lot like a Basque restaurant, is what you would say.
Not that much food. It's like it's like it's not that much food. You get a nice little salad. The soup was fucking outrageous. The filet mignon was delicious. The potatoes were delicious.
We be getting loose on this here pod, y'all. We got 1 through 10 up. Yeah, absolutely. Here's to you guys. Fuck yeah, some Red Trolley.
Solid red.
Yeah.
That's what you want in a beer.
Trev, let's start with the East and let's roll. Well, let's go 1, 2, 3, and then we can kind of talk about that. And then we'll go 4, 5, 6, and then we'll finish with 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right. Good? Yeah. So the team that I picked to win the East at the top of the list, the Boston Celtics.
Fucking Bastin. Yeah, they're cruising.
I mean, on paper it looked good, and it seems like they've come together. I really still have them as the favorite this year.
There's been a lot of noise of Tatum finally getting a front runner MVP vote.
Well, and I also think that signing the adult in Drew Holiday is the dude that's going to basically bring it all together. He's a
monster, is what he is.
Well, he's a straight up fucking leader. That's what he is.
Love it. Killer. Maybe low-key killer?
Killer?
He's not an offensive-driven guy, but
And we're going to get into who he left here in a second, who's starting to fall down the ridge, and maybe that looks like maybe he was the glue to keep that fucking ship together as well. So let's jump into 2, T.
Yeah, before we get to the team you're talking about, the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Heater. What up, D-Mitch? Get it, Spider.
That's my guy.
They're playing good ball. Now, they just got beat last night. It was a fucking really good game. I watched that by the Sixers, who we're going to be mentioning here soon, trying to do it without Embiid.
Is Mobley stepping up? The kid from USC. This is his third or fourth year,
I would say it's been mostly Jarrett. We talked about him, and obviously D-Mitch. I think he was out last night because I did not see him.
Mobley?
No, Mobley was there.
Okay.
He had a good floor performance, was terrible from the line. And then Garland was just slicing and dicing and dishing.
I forget that
Garland's fun to watch. He's really fun to watch. Don't forget about that guy. That guy he's a great two-man. He's not a number one, but Mitch and him, when they're clicking, that's why Cleveland be on this heater for sure.
So both twos on both sides are kind of like my side note teams. My Cavs and my fucking.
Why? When you mean a side Cavs? Don't know. We're editing that out.
Not yet.
Sorry. But that's cool. Do you see? We know that the Boston's built to make a long run. are the Cavs going to be that 2 seed that gets dipped in the first round? Or are we thinking that they might be a legit? I think.
Right.
I'm more worried that they're the 2 seed that's going to get dipped in the first round.
That's the question for sure.
Have that good record because you stayed healthy all year. And you want to be in the regular season, and then you get it against a team that's like a veteran team that all of a sudden shows up, and you kind of get...
That's the NBA. It happens year in and year out sometimes.
They seem like one of those teams that could be susceptible to that.
I know, it's a problem. Yeah.
Well, because their leading superstar, D. Mitchell, has never really made it very deep in the playoffs. And if that's... Let's be real about it. Experience and understanding of situations helps a fucking lot in professional sports. Knowing what it takes to get to the next round, knowing what it... It's a thing.
I was really hoping Mobley would be the one that kind of took that next step, because when you have a big man in the East, you gotta
No, he's playing well. He just gotta make your free throws, bro. You can't shack it. You gotta make, especially down the stretch, bro.
You're not as dominant as Shaq.
Especially down the stretch. No, ain't nobody later. Shaq. We've given love to him. Let's keep going.
Who's 3? Yeah,
3 would be Milwaukee.
All right, Chucky.
So I kind of pointed this out earlier as I saw their weekly run last week. They were 3-7 over the last since Doc Rivers has basically they tied the Pistons.
Terrible.
Yeah, they tied.
Terrible.
So they're on a slide. Common sense, you guys. We've talked about Doc Rivers in the NBA and what he's synonymous with, which is coming in and elevating teams to a certain level, but then never being able to get over the hump. He got the one ring with Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce, with the first big 3, as they call it. But since then, he has the worst
playoff record.
Yes, as far as in closeout games and clinching games, he's 3-37 or some shit. No, that's hyperbole. But anyway,
his rep definitely is. He seems to do less with more instead of more with less.
Right, which is insane because you give him this roster. Right, we were on the side of keeping the original coach. At this point, I honestly can't even remember his name, but
Griffin.
Yep,
Griff. Okay, he was 30-13. Okay. This team has won 5 games since Doc Rivers has taken over, and he's been there now for almost a month. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I really think they should have given Griffin more time to work out that defense, especially with the acquisitions that they made at the trade deadline. And now it's just you're forcing. It feels like this Doc Rivers thing.
You're forcing it again.
And it doesn't seem like when it gets to the playoffs that they're going to be ready. It just you don't get that feeling at all.
Just it's so infuriating. Small market teams in the NBA are cool when they get their upswing, right? And Milwaukee won the chip a couple of years ago, and they've been a great story with Letterbro, and I can't believe he's the one. I don't know. He let his personal pride get in front of his professional pride, and I think that team would have been better served to have a coach that he wasn't under the same scrutiny Doc Rivers will ever be. So they had the ability to technically kind of still fly under the radar. And as a favorite, and then you go and axe this guy because he talks shit about your brother. Giannis or Thonis or whatever the fuck his name is he's the 12 guy. He's not a player. Giannis, love your brothers, understand the position that you're in. You play great basketball. Dame Lillard is a hell of a scorer. He's a closer, and he closed out that game last night. I watched that Minnesota fucking who we're talking about here, Milwaukee.
They just played and beat them, so that was a big win.
Correct.
They have, after the Timberwolves, they have a couple easy games before it gets hard again. And they really need those wins.
Don't ruin in-season mojo. That's my common sense. Don't do it.
Who's sitting at 4 money? That'll be Chuck. Bring the hate.
It is so hard for me to watch shit like that. It just is. Thank you for coming to this TED Talks.
I mean, a team that's pretty. I mean, they've.
What do we got? What do we got?
The East, the Knicks with the moves that they've made.
That OG move. Yeah.
Dude, they're deep. They made some moves. They're just a deep team. Now it depends on...
DiVincenzo, your boy, is coming out and playing well. Brunson is having another really good season.
It's all about Randall. If Randall's... They need Randall to be a stud in the playoffs.
If he even becomes a 1.5 or a 2...
He needs to be a solid 2 in the playoffs. If Brunson's 1, and then you got... like you just said, OE,
OG,
and then you got all those other dudes. They have such a deep team with
DiVincenzo.
Hart, dude, Hart's such a good player coming off the bench.
Yeah,
can fill in, and he can run the offense. I just think that the Knicks might be a deep team, but again, are they gonna be the one and done? Like
sure.
Deep makes one thing, but if you only have a 1 and you're not bringing a 2.
I will say though, I think I was the only one who was high on them coming into this season.
I think I had him at 5.
I think you guys shit on the Nets.
No, I had
I did not.
Because
I still had him in the playoffs.
I had him at
maybe
5.
I was the one who shit on.
I think
him.
you shit
We need
on
to
him.
maybe we need to revisit. Maybe Chuck doesn't know basketball.
I will have to look at my list. It's lame.
But definitely this Knicks team, like they seem like one of the stronger competitors in the East now.
Dude, I'm a big fan of Brunson. I really like watching him play. He's up there like as he's gonna be like a killer. He could be in the killer list.
I agree. His mentality is killer.
Correct.
And he's almost there statistically as well.
Correct.
He's on track. I agree.
I think Randall
That's a good call.
has to be a solid 2 for them to move forward in the playoffs. But like like we're talking 25 and like 10.
Those kind of numbers.
Yeah.
For sure.
Which he's got it.
He's capable of
exactly. I was gonna say that's the frustrating thing about Julius Randle is that you look at him and he passes the eye test until he doesn't, because like
he goes out and shits the bed.
He can and he has, but so that's 5.
No, that was 4.
That was 4.
Oh, sorry,
5.
Disrespecting. Yeah, here we go.
Philly, which
there you go.
It's all
Just
about him.
That's what I'm saying. Just beat.
Gotta be good enough to just hang on and get in and hope that.
Is he going to be back for the playoffs? It's still a question mark, right? He might be done.
I think it probably looks good, but what
they need to get to the second round. I think that you even got to make it out of the first round, because they said basically the words that they used was reevaluate, which means he's not going to be ready. It just means they're going to check to see where he's at.
And they made that. Didn't they go get Buddy Hield? So they went out and got another shooter to come off the bench.
You've been a Buddy Hield stan for a minute. I know you wanted him on the Lakers for like years. No, Buddy Hield actually came out. It's great that you mentioned that name. He iced that game last night with a killer 3 under 7 seconds. It was stone cold. Yeah,
it's kind of a bummer for that team because you got Nurse in there, which we all said is doing a great job. I think like 3 weeks ago, and you got Maxey, who's just balling out as your 2. Yes. And so it kind of fits. Like I think Harden was just like which we're going to get to in a second. He's doing great on this other team. On that team, he was not working. Maxey with Harris and Embiid seemed like a perfect fit, and then Hield coming off the bench, and then now Embiid's kind of.
So to speak to that point, they will hold on. They're going to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
How deep they make it is a question mark.
Who's 6, T?
So 6 would be the team with the best offense, I think, in the league right now. Those Indiana Pacers.
Oh, I knew they were going to start climbing, dude. Halliburton with Siakam.
Well, that's that 6 seed, that 7 seed that we're talking about that can come in and beat that 2 or 3 seed that, might be a little questionable in Cleveland, who doesn't have that experience. And then here comes Indiana, who technically doesn't have any experience necessarily either other than Siakam. But the idea is that, that would be a great matchup. Talk about a wonderful fucking playoff matchup.
Rick Carlisle's that coach, right?
Oh, yeah, and he's offense first. Always has been.
Yep.
He did that in Dallas for many, many, many years with Dirk and a revolving cast of characters.
So the next 4 are all in the plan. 7, 8, 9, and 10. So let's run through them and just...
Real quick, just touch them.
So, Miami...
Okay.
Touch Butler. They can do it.
You feel like they're going to be there.
Sure.
Yep.
We didn't think they were going to make it to the finals last year, but Butler came out. His playoff Butler is a different monster.
And Eric Spoelstra, maybe the best coach in the NBA.
I mean, you got to give him his flowers for sure.
After them, Orlando having a great season.
Love that. You want to see them in because they're scrappy.
Well, they got a lot of
young talent.
Yes, young talent, dude.
And built. They didn't. This is drafting. This is eating shit. This is trading away assets, collecting assets.
Acquiring in free agency is a little tough.
I know they're not. We're not going to talk about him. Somebody please go get Cade Cunningham away from the Pistons and put him on a team where he can flourish.
Pistons team is so bad. No, that's not. That makes a whole lot of sense, man.
Dude, Cade's so sick, dude.
He needs the ball, for sure. He needs to be in an opportunity to ball. Okay, shout out to Orlando, though. Keep at it. Get in that tourney and make a difference.
All right, that's a number 8.
Yeah,
so 9 and 10.
For fighting for the the bottom spot would be Chicago and Atlanta.
Wow.
Ooh, see, it was Atlanta that I whiffed on. I was way higher on Atlanta coming into this season. I thought that roster was going to figure itself out, and they have not.
I just still can't figure out what's going on with that team.
No, and it's give me 9 again. I'm so sorry because I love that roster. I want that roster to be better than 9th. Why is that roster 9th? That's so crazy to me.
Lonzo being out, I think he's kind of that.
He's done, right? He's Brandon Royded. His knee is ruined. Like he's never gonna play again. He hasn't played in 2+ years, right? Like has that been 3 years now even?
And he was kind of when they were rolling, he was there because he was the glue to keep the offense.
He's just one of those guys that can do anything on a basketball court.
And he played pretty good. And Lonzo also worked hard on.
He was a two-way player. He was a two-way player. Yeah.
All right, let's jump into the West, T-Mon.
West at the top, we got a tie, but number 1 they have ranked Minnesota.
T-Wolves are finally playing with what their talent should be.
They did
100%.
Get They did get beat. We just mentioned this by the Bucks last night, and that was a very good game.
Anthony Edwards, star.
Oh my God, dude! Like that kid's gonna be changing the game here in the next few years.
Trev, who's 2?
2 OKC.
We're skipping that.
Who's
number 3? Who's number 3? Who is that?
Dude, I called it. Dude, they're so young. I'm just worried that they're gonna be like the Cavs in the East, where they get dipped out by like the Lakers or somebody like that. But they're the up and coming team with Chet. SGA is an MVP candidate, and then the rest of the team plays really well with those guys. They've done a really good job drafting with all the draft picks they pick up from trading for PG3 and stuff.
GMs probably in the
for
league. That's
sure.
Just ridiculous.
Dude, he's moved some
pieces.
He's moved so many pieces around
That's
and gotten so much stuff, dude.
He took that pile of dirt.
Job.
They took that pile of dirt up front, and they made a couple of really key trades that they've honed in on. And
people forget that SGA came over in the Paul George.
Correct. Yep, from the Clips. Yeah, no, absolutely. And they got first rounders as well. Like, no, it is insane. I hate to give credit to this fucking staff, but god damn it, dude, they did it the way. And because now here's the thing, they also have like 30 first-round picks over the next 7 years. That's hyperbole.
You're right. They still have equity coming in.
Oh my god, they can go anywhere up and down in the draft board. They can trade for whoever they want. They're
a player in the West.
There's not a single thing that OKC can't do if they want to. They can sit pat and use it as such, or they can make a fucking power move if they truly want to.
And you can tell that they know what they're doing in the draft. You just look at all the recent drafts. They've hit on their both picks. Usually you get 2 or 3 picks. They've been hitting where guys are coming off the bench, or they get the Chet Holmgrens, which he looks legit now that he's getting a full season.
So we're hoping that they go Moneyball and they keep just trading all the guys as soon as they start getting good. Keep dumping them off.
Who's at 3 there, T-Mon?
So let's move on. Thank you.
This is the Clips, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Damn, they've worked their way all the way up to the 3 seed.
I will take the loss on this one. I thought they were going to be dog shit after the Harden trade, and they were for a little bit, but they have found
Well, they started out 0-5, yeah.
They have found it with Russell Westbrook on the bench.
Yeah, coming off the bench.
Harden facilitating Paul George and Kawhi being healthy, because they are both dominant two-way players.
They're playing every game now. That load management has kind of changed in LA because they have the offset of those other superstars, so that even though Kawhi and PG are playing, they're not playing 40 minutes. They're playing 20, 23. They get the offset. Very rarely do, or if ever, do all 4 of them play at the same time. No. They do a very good job of like running waves like a hockey team, right?
Yes, and last year we talked about like with Trev's Warriors not having size to go against like the Lakers and the Thunder, or not the Thunder, but the Lakers and the Nuggets. And now you have Zubac there, who is pretty good at playing defense and offense. So he gives you a little bit of that size that you wonder. So I think the Clips, I don't want to say it, dude, they might make a strong push, boys, and I do not like saying that.
I think they're really the hot team right now.
They are.
A lot of people are picking them. Again, it comes down to health. If they stay healthy, like, that team could be representing the West.
You just spoke on the experience of knowing what, like, Russell Westbrook has been to a finals. Kawhi has won many of them. PG is a longtime veteran. And, like, they have the rapport, if you will.
God, those Pacer teams, fuck, man, they almost got past the Heat.
They were so fun to watch.
Who's after that? T, is it the Nugs?
It is the Nuggets.
So we talked about SGA being an MVP candidate. Obviously, Joker is still just... Dude, he had a perfect game the other day. 10 for 10. Fucking, like, 10 assists. Fuck, dude, he's...
Yeah, we know he's the man. It's health. It's health with that team.
Take it back a little bit though. I just really enjoyed him and Luka together at the All-Star game. They seem to really be having fun there.
Goddamn Europeans, yeah.
But you get
speaking foreign languages and shit.
Did you get Joker? You have Joker, Porter, and Aaron Gordon, right?
Yeah, Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray. You didn't mention him.
Dude.
Oh yeah.
You get all four of those guys, and I'm a big Murray fan.
The defending champs, don't count them out. They're just they're in the pace right now. They're in the pack. They're just pacing. Like you don't have to worry about them by any means, right? Like the fact that they're the 4th seed shouldn't hold any bearing to what the playoffs might bring for them. Like they'll turn it on when they need to, as long as they're healthy.
Who we rolling at 5?
All right, 5.
1,
New
2, 3,
Orleans.
4. Hey, them Pels though. We were all high on the Pels.
We said if you could stay healthy with Ingram and CJ, dude.
Absolutely.
Zion still isn't playing the Zion that first came in.
He's giving you 20. He's giving you 20 and some bounds. He's not a scrub.
He's been solid.
He's not a scrub, right? He's that middle to ish guy, right?
Yeah, but we expect a little bit more.
He was the first overall, right?
Yeah, you get Ingram and CJ rolling just a little bit of help, dude. Those two fools.
Valanciunas is down there. He plays a good round of ball. He's an athletic big man, to be fair.
I forgot he was down there, but you get those two guys rolling, and then you can keep that team healthy. I know they might be that team that kind of gets bounced first round too. But
I could also kind of want to pull for that team. It's weird that I kind of want to pull for that team, but I do.
I'm an Ingram fan. I'm butthurt that he got traded.
You have way too many fandoms. You gotta fucking pick, bro. You be like, the Cavs are my team, man.
I like rooting for Peoples. I got my Peoples I like rooting for.
Peoples.
Well, and he was a Laker at one point. So.
All right, let's go. Upward and onward. Number 6.
The Mavericks.
Dude, I will take the L on this. I thought they would be dog shit. Luka is up there as right.
Luka's just too
Luka, Joker, and SGA are probably the top 3 in the MVP conversation in the West. You would guys agree, Luka, Joker, and SGA?
Luka played defense. If you played defense, he would separate himself, and it wouldn't be close right now.
He's just such a
doughboy.
Dude,
he's a fucking whiner and a doughboy.
He's such a scoring machine. I hate watching him play because of his whining.
He's a doughboy.
But watching him offensively, dude, he gets his shot, dude, and shooting. Dude, he's legit. Scoring line.
His step, it's that step. He just gets you off of your ball. Like he just moves you wherever he needs to. He looks like he's not gonna do it, and boom, he's by you. It's like, what the fuck just happened? Like
he's big too. He's like 6'6". Like,
he's
like
a husky
dude.
boy. He's a big old doughboy out there. Yeah, he ain't fit. He's just good. He doesn't pass the physical eye test, but he passes that fucking like scouting eye test where you're like, he does everything. Sorry, my puzz. Yeah, except for
that defense.
Play some defense.
Who you got next, Timo?
Luka.
So now we're at 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Because that was 6.
This would be 7. The Kings. Like they're still strong.
Dude, I think I missed
last
on
year
them.
they'd be a little bit better, but
I missed on them big time, dude. I thought they were gonna.
I knew they were gonna take a step back. No, I knew they were gonna take a step back. I think I had them right around this range. To be fair,
I'd have to look. I think we all like the way that Fox plays. I just thought that they would.
Sabonis
flash in the pan, I guess. Yeah, he's a double guaranteed every night, which that's nice to bank on.
Yes.
All right, 8.
8 Phoenix.
I was higher on them. There's a whiff for me. I had them in 4. I think I had them like 3 or 4.
I think I did too.
Whiff. KD, you know what? Hey, I've been seeing some highlights. You've been dunking some more, man. Use that length, bro. Get up at it. It's kind of been fun to watch.
He's a sick offensive player too, man.
Yeah, he's a scorer. And also plays some defense.
Dude, he does. he puts out effort on the D end. I would say KD puts out effort.
All right, there you go. So that's 8. So we expected more out of Phoenix though. Beal,
Beal's been hurt all year.
Right. It's been the issue that you talked about. No depth right out of the gates, and that's what's been hurting them. So 8th makes a little bit of sense, but play better.
9 and 10 are
the Lakers and the Warriors.
I didn't want to fucking talk about it.
Did you watch our game the other night?
Fuck no.
Well, I mean, LeBron wasn't playing, so it's hard to get a real read. But
he didn't play. He didn't play the game before the All-Star game. Played in the All-Star game, which, if you can say that was playing, weird. And then didn't play the game after the All-Star game.
That's a little weird.
Zach, you need to just transition. Okay, you're no longer a Laker fan. You stand way more. You shouted out the thunder. You need to
my basketball fandom has gone more from being a team to being like a player type.
Ever since Kobe left.
Yep, it has been really ever since Kobe left. I've kind of been more of like a player fan in the NBA. Like I kind of root for dudes instead of like the team. I do still root for Lakers. It's just hard.
Well, okay, so, I mean, do you think your Warriors, with the roster built as it is,
dude,
they'll find a way at least into the play-in? Do you think that they could win anything?
I give fucking Kerr a fucking round of applause for making these changes, dude. Bringing the one kid in and then putting Clay on the bench, and now Kuminga is finally stepping up. And after Kuminga's stupid-ass comments, 2 months ago about how he was disappointed in Kerr, Kuminga's finally playing good. Well, I still don't think you guys have any size, but Kerr.
Yes.
Kerr, I'll give you a fuck. Putting Clay on the bench and bringing that kid in, dude, that's...
So, yes, I was excited to get to this because the Warriors, I've been getting to watch more of them now with football season over. I've been trying to make more time to watch them. And I've been pleasantly surprised because at the beginning of the season, I feel like I was more down on them. But I feel like their younger players are growing, and having Clay come off the bench, and he's assimilated well, I'd say. He's doing a little bit more passing, which he's a good passer.
He can be the dude that kind of takes over the second team.
Yes.
So he could kind of be like the Steph of the second team, where he can jack him, but he can also facilitate as well.
And Podzinski?
I think that's
he's become a great starter. Him with Kuminga and Wiggins and Curry, I like those four in my starting lineup.
Wiggins still hasn't shown up.
He still hasn't been the same guy as when they won the tourney, but if he can return to that gives the Warriors, I think, the best chance of winning.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like they can get into the playing game and maybe win a game. I don't think they go far this season, but I like the growth that I've seen. And that's really encouraging. Now, if that fifth spot, Draymond's had a good year, as much as I hate to say it, and he's been good for that fifth spot for that.
Fuck, I hate to say it.
For the starters. But ideally, if they can bring in someone that's more of an athletic rim defender, who am I thinking of? For the Heat, Adebayo, if they could get a player similar to him in that fifth spot instead of Draymond, would be my preference.
That's what you guys are missing, 100%.
That's exactly what I would want to see happen in the offseason. And I think that's the next move that has to be made if they're going to reopen this window, because I thought the window is about closed. I don't think it's open this season, but it's with the growth. I think we're a lot closer than I thought to it reopening.
So it's coming down the stretch, y'all. We got only 30 games left,
something like that.
So right
26.
There's some really good. I love that. I think that there's a lot of movement that can still happen, obviously, but upsets early, chalk late, just like a fucking NCAA bracket a lot, right? So we're gonna jump into
Chuck, why don't you take that, dude?
I think the biggest news for NCAA this week here isn't actually the basketball, even though that's the active sport, and we shouted out the ladies big time when it came to last pod, and Caitlin Clark breaking that record and moving forward, trying to get Pete Maravich, and there's a lot of good basketball going on out there, but what we're going to touch on is actually a court case where I believe it was a judge in Tennessee injunctioned the NCAA to not allow them to force kids to have a window for an NIL agreement, basically meaning that teams can use that as a recruitment tool and it won't affect the academic side of things.
You can't be now punished because Florida State is being in an investigation right now for using that as a tool to recruit. Chuck is saying in this article that now you can't punish. Florida State's things now should go out the window.
It will be dismissed,
because you can't punish people for using that as a recruit. There's no justification in the law or something that says...
It comes down to the idea that everybody gets to do it, so why can't you use it as a tool for, we do it a little bit better than these guys? It's not to say that Middle Tennessee State can't fucking do NIL. They just don't have the boosters that Florida State fucking does. So why wouldn't you say, hey, if you come to this school and you ball, you're going to get paid for it? That is the precedent that they set with this NIL. So I kind of agree with the judge in a way. I think that there needs to be a little bit more boundaries and like rules kind of put into place because it's kind of all over the place right now.
There should be like a salary cap.
Well, not a salary cap, but a contract.
Sidebar: we need to do a fix-it pod where we go and we fix everything. We fix the All-Star games and just do a crazy off-the-books fix-it pod.
That's hilarious.
Fix the fucking NCAA. We'll fix the fucking All-Star game. Those are two right here that we're talking about that need to be fixed. Dude, we're going to do a fix-it pod and just fix everything. Dude, be prepared.
For the sports.
Yes, everything. We're going to fix everything one day. On a slow day, we're going to call it the Fix It Pod, and we are fixing everything with Toronto sports.
We're just snowballing at this
Sorry,
point.
go for it, T.
No, did you have any more to add on that case?
No, I think if you want to touch on it, basically, I just want to say that within that, they need to put parameters on it. It's a little out of control, but I get the blocking of trying to say that you can't use it as a recruiting tool. I think that it's blatant.
It's totally a recruiting tool.
It's federally legal across the board. Nobody's saying that anybody can't do it. It'd be if only Power Fives, conference schools could use this as a tactic, then I could understand why they would say it's not fair for the rest of. But technically, Nevada can pitch their NIL contracts if they want to. It's just not going to be as high as Florida State or Clemson or even like a UNC. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just that's the wrong angle to take. They need to look at it big picture, not little picture. NCAA, this is where you always fuck up. You don't have a governing body. This is the fix-it pod that he's just touching on, is that
Fix it.
The NCAA needs to really take a fucking step back and figure itself out. They are way too far in front. Their body is in front of their head, which is not a good way to live your life.
Well, their very next topic that we're about to talk about, 14 teams. Where the fuck are we even talking about 14 teams,
They
dude?
just approved the 5+7,
right,
which means the conference plus the next 7 best.
The 5 bigs.
Right. The conference winners and then the next 7 best, which
right.
Obviously
cool.
That format makes sense.
That makes sense to me.
Go for it, money.
So we're talking about 5 conference winners. What's the 5th conference?
I guess, right? With the Pac-12 shutting down, I don't know.
That's what I wanted to ask about because
great
I
question.
saw that and I was like,
does Mountain West become number 5?
No, I think it's the best team. It's the same thing as it was before.
Here's the fact of the matter is 12 teams is too many, and the fact that you're even arguing towards a 14 team without even seeing a 12 teamer,
Big 12,
insane.
SEC.
Well, I think that's because they're trying to take like the NFL model at this point.
I don't care. It's not
those
the
extra
NFL.
games are making more money, and
but it's
completely agree that 12 is too many. They shouldn't be
what
looking
matters
at
in college football?
12.
You know what matters more than the amount of games? Playing the right teams, rivalries, pageantry. This is not the NFL. We need to fix it. Wake the fuck up, NCAA. You're botching. You're dropping. We're
gonna drop it.
You're sacrificing the big picture for the little picture. And I'm saying this from a guy who doesn't make any money off of it. And I understand from a business perspective that expansion is just bringing in revenue literally hand over fist. But you're sacrificing everything that everybody loves about this. And maybe, I don't think so, but what if the pendulum swings the other way? They water the product down so bad that people start not watching NCAA in the way that they used to, and they stop. Like, I know that alums will always give a shit and there will be some passion, but like, you're breaking up. The Apple Cup is no longer a part of our conference play. Our in-state rival is not in the same conference. What are we talking about, NCAA? All for dollars. God damn it. Okay, so that's first segment, right?
Let's close on one sweet stat.
One sweet stat.
From the NHL.
Let's bring it back, yeah, because I'm sorry, I got a little dark right there.
Maple Leafs Austin Matthews scores goal 50 and 51 in the 54th game. So 50 and 51 the 54th game. It sets he's the fastest NHL player to reach that mark in 28 years. So, guess who was before that?
Gretzky.
Well, you have Lemieux achieved it.
Is what I was going to say.
In 50 games. No, hold on. In 50 games.
Okay.
Well, the fastest was Gretzky. He got 50 in 39 fucking games, dude.
The great one.
That was in 81-82. But
the great one.
Matthews is the fastest 50 goals among U.S.-born players passing Kevin Stevens' record of 62 games in 1992 to 1993. Dude, that's fucking crazy, bro.
Rarefied air, right? Doesn't happen often.
Dude, that's so. We don't have any brewskis, so we cheers to you, Austin. But I just wanted to finish this first segment with just that really cool stat. We're gonna come back hot with free agency.
NFL, baby. Dude,
we're literally gonna just give you 5 players from each position and just kind of talk through them. I think there's some big. There's no big quarterback names, but you got some defense players and you got some wide receivers.
There's some big fish potentially on the hook.
Yes, sir.
Segment 2.
Coming at you. Welcome back to Balls and Brews. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Cheers, gents.
I'm excited for this one, guys. I really
classic.
Am. So, yep.
Basically what I thought it was going to taste like.
Drinking some Fall River Blind Pig.
Russian River.
Russian River.
Out of Santa Rosa.
Yep.
Drinks at 6.25.
It's a standard IPA.
And yeah, you have their beanie on. You're repping.
Yeah, I'm repping. I've been there. It was nice. It was a good time. Great food there too.
Where'd you get this at?
This is one of those beers I picked up at Craft.
Let's go. They got racks of Blind Pig.
Dude,
racks of it.
You know who else does? Is on 4th Street next to Johnny's.
That wine bar that's right
yes.
there. They have Russian River, huh?
Dude, bombers like that, dude. 6 bones.
Nice.
All of them. Like
excellent.
The Blind Pig. What's the other one?
Yeah, well, I got those other ones that we can have on the pod because there was
foreshadowing.
I got 4 of them.
There's 4 of them. Yeah.
There was the Blind Pig. There's Piney the Elder,
yes.
which is
dude,
their
Piney
favorites
the Elder,
that they're known for.
And I'm not a huge IPA dude.
Not Piney. Pliny.
I'm sorry.
The Pliny the Elder, dude, is. I'm not a huge IPA guy. You guys know. I love that fucking beer.
Oh, and then they triple hop it and they call it Pliny the Younger, and that only releases once every like 18 months. People wait in line. Like the stories of trying to get your hands on that beer is like you have to. It's a pilgrimage. You go down there and you wait. Yeah, like
I ain't waiting for that.
They have a following unlike anything I've ever seen in the brewery scene, specifically on that beer.
Yeah,
specifically on Pliny the Younger is one of the most sought after West Coast beers, and I've never tried it, so I can't say if it is as holy grailish as some people make it. But I mean, they have subreddits dedicated to that beer.
So yeah, a couple other of those coming up that they had R&D IPA.
I can't wait.
The Piney, and then they had a hazy.
Yep.
And that's the one I haven't had. So
I want that. Cool. I want to try that hazy. Hell bad.
That's dope. Hell yeah.
Anybody else on this topic with the brewskis?
Got any more brew talk?
Brew talk. What is this drinking at, Chuck? Did you say that?
Oh, I'm sorry. If we didn't hear it, it was 6.25.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a great fucking percentage, bro.
No, it's
it was the lower of the other 3.
Because I started us off hard with the yes. I know. That's why I said start hard and end easy. So here we are.
Let's jump into free agency, but let's start with
right
this.
Around the corner.
But comes with free agency, you got to pay mofo's. So let's talk about what the salary cap went up.
Oh my God, this just broke a couple of days ago, right?
Yep, it did. Big news actually too.
Yes, NFL raises from $255.4 million to $30.6 million, which is a record. The biggest increase since 1994.
Dude.
Percentage-wise.
Percentage-wise. Money-wise, yeah.
It's superior to anything they've ever done.
Dude, it's
so everybody just got massive relief. Everybody that was behind the cap is now at least even, right? Give or take kind of thing. I don't think anybody could be behind the cap now. I don't think anybody was 30 in the whole. Well, actually, the Saints are like 80 in the whole.
No, they reworked
the Carr's contract. That's okay.
And that's what that brought them to whatever they're at now.
To the even.
Or above, however they did it. You know how, dude, I know. Everybody does
crazy shit. The NFL contracts aren't real.
They do crazy shit.
They aren't real. We converted money for Geno into a signing bonus so that we could clear up like 4.8 in cap. So, yeah, it happens all around the league at this time. We let Geno, a little sidebar for the Seahawks. We kept him on roster to guarantee 12.7. Not awful.
Is he?
He's gonna start
day one.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he ended the season, and I don't see any reason to get away from that unless unless there's something extremely surprising happening in the draft.
Oh,
and I'm not against it.
Pops, because it feels like the Seahawks are still going to draft someone.
I mean, maybe, sure. Like, hopefully, I want to swing.
The guy that comes in sometime during the season.
I swing for the fences.
I can't fucking wait.
I'm so excited. This QB class, in theory, is deep.
This is my favorite time.
There's going to be misses. There's always misses at any given position when you have so many guys that could potentially be the guy. There has to be a miss, right?
Combine soon. We're going to get to see
the underwear Olympics, baby.
Well, it's kind of confirming speeds and quickness, like the offensive line quickness. I love seeing that. I love knowing the defensive line quickness. And then sometimes confirming speed for some of these guys, like how quick you are off the line. 40 times, I think, are like confirming what the tape tells you, like wide receiver, cornerback wise. 40 times for like linebackers, it just makes them like, dude, that's a hell of an athlete. I think some of the other stuff, like the little shuttle drills, are more important. I think that shit's more important. I think the shuttle drills are more important than the 40s. I think the 40 times are big for like confirming tape stuff for wide receivers and cornerbacks. Like, hey, that guy can run with fucking everybody. It showed on tape, and then he just ran a fucking 4.2 40 or whatever, you know. That's fast. That was real fast. But, you know, I think that's what – and some of that stuff will depend on, like, how you jump.
But so now that the cap is gone up.
Penix is throwing – sorry, sidebar. Penix is throwing at the combine.
Why wouldn't he?
A lot of guys don't throw on their combine because they don't like throwing to fucking other wide receivers.
He is one of the purest strokes. He's got nothing to go out and prove on his arm. No. Where he needs to prove it is his leg and athleticism and staying healthy.
I think
his arm is a lot.
His arm is a lot. The determining factor.
Absolutely. He had 4 season-ending injuries. Now he's played the last 2 consecutively with only reasonable little nicks here and there.
His just that national title game might have left
He's a great thrower. He's got to stay on time. We watched it. I watched it all last year. I watched every Washington game at some point.
I liked him. All right, let's jump into free agency, and we'll start with this quarterback situation,
which is not super heavy this year. It was pretty thick last year.
I'll roll through it real quick just to give you guys an update. I don't know if there's any big names: Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield, Gardner Minshew, Jacoby Brissett. I don't know why Flacco's at 5. Jameis Winston, Tannehill, Rudolph, Sam Darnold, and Joshua Dobbs.
So all true backups.
Yeah, well, Kurt and Baker are starters.
Baker just had a career year.
And
should Baker not go back to Tampa Bay though?
Yes, because I want to pay him. If he would take like in the 30s, I would be like, dude, come play for me.
I think that's a complete career renaissance, if you ask me.
He's going to take 40s. He's going to get in the 40s, and I don't want to pay him 40. If he would be my number 1 if he would take in the 40
is still reasonable. You just got $30 million in cap relief.
I know, but not for him. I want to pay him in the 30s.
But who are you going to go, Tampa Bay?
But with that new cap,
Baker's going to get 40
you made the playoffs, so you don't draft high. Do they have the equity? Mike Evans is a free agent. There's a lot of things in Tampa Bay that they got to fucking figure out.
I don't think, if I'm Baker, I wouldn't sign with Tampa until they sign Mike Evans.
No, I think if you're Baker, you get the bag.
Do you?
Absolutely. If they throw you any form of a reasonably high contract, you fucking sign it.
And actually,
you just bounced. You were on your 3rd team in 1 year.
There's actually,
you know what I mean?
There's actually
like 6 months.
There's actually 2 names that aren't on the list that should be on this list. We also got to figure that there's going to be probably Russell Wilson.
Possible trade.
Because he's technically not a free agent because he's still under contract. But
it looks like the Broncos want to
where there's smoke, there's fire.
And maybe Justin Fields. So those 2 are also on the where do those 2, considering you have Kurt and Baker, are those 2 above Kurt and Baker? Are those 2 below Kurt and Baker? Where do those 2 fall? Because obviously they're probably above Minshew and Brissett.
Easy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So where do those 2 fall if you're talking rankings right now?
That's a great question.
I think it's easy. I think if you're playing for 1 year, Kirk Cousins is the guy. If you're playing for a future with one of those guys at quarterback, then it's Justin Fields.
Do you still think that he's not a backup, or do you still think he's a starter?
Fields?
Yes.
I think Fields is going to get the opportunity to be the starter wherever he goes. There's teams that are hungry. Atlanta, Pittsburgh, one of those teams I feel like will make a play and try and bring him in.
I think he goes to Pittsburgh for some reason. I just got this feeling about that. I don't think Atlanta. I think Atlanta would be like a sweet spot for Kirk if Kirk doesn't go back to the Vikings.
Yeah,
I was kind of thinking about Kirk too, just kind of bringing him in. He would fit with Antonio Pierce, just kind of just hard-nosed, a good guy. He would fit with Crosby, and he'd have Adams to throw to. I don't know. For me, I'm kind of hoping we draft. I don't know if there's that free agent you want to pull a trigger on. I think you hit it best saying Kirk's kind of the 1-2 year. I kind of want the dude to be kind of like the dude.
Sure. I mean, every franchise does. It just depends on where your team is, though.
I haven't had a dude in a long, long fucking time. Okay, let's jump into the next position. Anybody else? What do you think, Chuck, on that? No, rankings, Wild Craig. If you had it, who's your adding Russ and Justin?
Sure. I think that, I was super high on Justin Fields.
Are you still?
I hitched my wagon to him this season, and obviously it wavered. So my confidence wavered.
Chuck was higher.
I drafted
if
him
you guys
in the
listen,
sixth round.
Chuck's way higher on Justin than we were.
I
and
was so high on him coming into this season because of the way he ended last year. I was like, they're going to take the full year. They'll get him honed in on the passing game. His athleticism is out of fucking control. Now, he never took that passing step forward. That's what's going to define what will happen with Justin Fields. His athleticism is unquestioned. Like, he can run the ball amazingly. He's got good spatial awareness. He knows when to slide. He doesn't take a lot of big, crazy hits. And he's a big boy. But he's got to learn to throw. You win from the pocket in the NFL. On-time throwing is that's why you see these quarterbacks that don't necessarily pass the athleticism test, but they can slice and dice all over the field.
It's knowing where to throw the ball, reading the defense, timing, playing in your part of your system.
But out of those four, I still think I love the take of Kirk. I think under the right team, he's amazing. He's a really good quarterback.
You protect him, he's going to do what he does.
You can kind of shit on his primetime record, and that's been kind of the narrative. But overall, Kirk Cousins is a solid fucking NFL quarterback. Period. He has a winning percentage that most guys don't sniff.
And he's got a
great
high TD,
low turnover, great guy, quarterback. On Netflix, dude, I fell in love with the guy. He shops at Kohl's, bro. Guy's a millionaire and shops at Kohl's. Shout, bro. He knows his lane. That's the coolest thing about Cousins, right? Relatability, I suppose, but at the same time, great competitor. If you listen to him talk and his mentality about the game, that's why he's so successful. He's a football guy. So I would put him above Fields if you're the one-off, if you're the piece away. If you're the piece away, for sure. If you're looking to build and just kind of get younger, then Fields is a great option.
I don't want to go Fields.
Wilson can be resurrected maybe, and then Baker Mayfield is going to sign with Tampa Bay, so I don't think he necessarily is a free agent.
I mean,
best landing spot for Russ. Is it Atlanta?
Probably, because he needs tools in a defense, and they reworked that defense, and he's got tools.
I got one more name for you. I know we were on the quarterback, so we were going to go to running back. What about Mac Jones? If he's not starting, they have to trade him. Is he a...
You have to build him back up.
You can have a fourth rounder for him. So I'll give you a fourth rounder for him.
What about? I saw something crazy. What about him to the Broncos? He can go play with Sean Payton.
That makes sense to me, actually.
I don't feel Mac Jones is ready to be a starter again immediately. I think whoever gets him has to build him back up while you have someone else in that position.
I don't know, but if he goes down and under the tutelage of Sean Payton,
because technically Mac Jones is the quarterback that's supposed to play on time.
Exactly. Right. And that system is schematic. It's mathematical. That's what I'm saying. I think that would be a great option.
Sean wants on time. Sean doesn't want Russ scrambling around and doing. Sean wants on time. Kyle wants on time. They're offensive systems that want on time play.
Click.
I think that would
to
be
the metronome.
Mike McDaniel's on time play.
We gotta go. Yep, we're 1, 2.
Let's roll into the running backs, and I'm gonna read them, and then there's some really big names, but how many of them are done? Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard, Austin Eckler, DeAndre Swift, Zach Moss, J.K. Dobbins, Devin Singletary, and Antonio Gibson, all free agents.
Holy shit, really?
Antonio Gibson, sneaky good. But how many of the top dudes are done? Barkley and Jacobs got a little more in the tank. Is Henry still?
I think.
And then Tony Pollard, Tony Pollard was nothing this year, and I knew it. I knew he wasn't going to be able to do it without the banger, and he couldn't do And then Swift
had a good year and a really good year.
Yes. So, and Eckler, dude, I don't know. I don't know if he...
I'm throwing him a contract. Eckler come play in Seattle. Fuck yeah, he was a touchdown machine for 2.5 years. He had like 40 tutties.
Is he done, though? Is he the next running back?
No, he's a monster. Have you seen that guy? Like, he's a muscle hamster. He's just short. No, he's got juice left in the tank. Absolutely. If you're counting out Eckler, I think you're a fool.
I'm not counting him out. I just want to know if he's one of those guys.
I don't think he's done. I think Henry's more done than Eckler. I will say that. And I think that Saquon is not done. No, I think that he is ready to destroy this league. He's just got to get out of New York.
Well, he stayed fairly healthy last year.
Over the last couple of years, yeah. I know. He's just got to get out of New York. That's just that market has swallowed him up.
Definitely. I saw him. Somebody said, "Ooh, Saquon to the Chargers." I've heard that
too. And Saquon is definitely the best available.
Yeah,
Jacobs, I worry a little about his wear, but he's definitely that number 2, and I think everybody under that is a split back. They're splitting time with somebody else.
I do too.
I think top 2 names can still be a workhorse, but everybody else.
I don't think Singletary's been given his fair cut. When he got a couple of games this year for the Texans, and he put up 120 in back-to-back weeks.
I think the sneaky. I like your 1 and 2 take T on that. Saquon and Josh are probably the only 2 that can go bang to bang for 3 downs anymore. Derek is more of the 1 and 2 kind of down guy.
You want him downhill, yeah.
But I think the sneaky pick is Swift, man. He was pretty explosive.
He ran.
But Dobbins has never been healthy.
I think
Swift really hasn't either, though.
I know.
No,
he was better this year.
Way healthier than Dobbins. Dobbins has had he's been in the league for 4 years. I think
he's been injured every year.
A little bit, right? But Dobbins has had 3 season-ending injuries in 4 years. No, he's not that is the definition.
He's more risky.
Oh no, I've taken 2 swings on him in those 4 years, and it's bitten me in the ass.
In fantasy?
Yes, because I thought I got him at value, and the reason why I got him at value is because he can't stay healthy, and it sucks because he can be explosive, but they're all leg injuries, dude.
Yes.
That's like the most horrifying thing for a running back, right? It's not a shoulder, it's not a hand, but it's his knees and his ankles, and
I think if you're Baltimore, you just gotta let him go because
absolutely.
You gotta bring in somebody else,
or you tell him, you sit him down, and you're like, look, you're gonna make this roster on a veteran minimum. You're gonna get paid like $1.2 million.
I think you look drafted.
Well, they had Keon Mitchell, dude. He was balling this fucking year, but he did, yes, unfortunate. But he should come back healthy.
This running back draft, I am not high on, boys.
I would agree.
I'm going to tell you right now that as I start doing my research and start looking at it,
you won't see a Bijan or a fucking Jahmyr Gibbs at all this year.
Position group, this next position group, it might be one of
them WRs.
Dude, it's pretty hot free agency. Let me roll through it.
Let's go.
It's hot in the draft.
I think there's that's the other thing I was going to say.
Draft, yeah.
There is at least 3 number ones, maybe 4 number ones in this list. There is the top 4 dudes, maybe 5. Are all number ones coming out too.
And how amazing is that with how thick the quarterback class is and the tackle is? The top of the draft is juicy, dude. There's so much good
offensive tackle
talent.
Position is so good. The fucking quarterbacks, wide receivers.
You know what's crazy?
And I think the CBs.
A lot of mocks, real quick, I know we're going to get into the WRs. A lot of mocks don't even have a defensive player going in the top 10. For the first time in years. For the first time in years.
The first team that's going to take it is going to be I think maybe right now I've been looking is maybe the Falcons, because I think Falcons are going free agent quarterback, and they're going to take the kid. I think Dallas Turner is obviously the first one that probably comes off the board, but I think the cornerbacks make a run at depending on what the Broncos do, the Raiders do, there could be like cornerbacks that make a quick run within like that little teen area. Delicious brewski. Let's run into the wide receivers, which I think are hot. T. Higgins, Mike Evans, Michael Pittman Jr., Calvin Ridley, Marquise Brown, Darnell Mooney, Gabe Davis, Curtis Samuel, Odell Beckham Jr., and Tyler Boyd. Dude, there's 2 Bengals
that run was ridiculous. No, all of those are serviceable under the right system with the right, situation.
They have T. Higgins. I just want to make one bitch about this. I'm going to make 2 bitches.
In front of Mike Evans?
Yes. Because and Michael Pittman Jr.
It's his age.
Dude, Mike Evans. Upside. Pittman Jr. is fucking off the hook too, dude.
Can we explain this one though? In the fact that like T. Higgins has had more 1,000-yard seasons than Pittman. He's younger than Mike Evans. That's the reason. So he is the clear number one. He's
played number 2 in Cincinnati.
That's the point. I was gonna say he's been behind Chase most of his career.
Put him on a team that doesn't have a receiver.
Oh, nasty.
Oh,
Bring him to Detroit to play with Amon-Ra, bro. Are you fucking kidding me?
Can you imagine if I hope
another number 1 though?
But Mike Evans has had 9 straight 1,000-yard
He's
years.
a beast. I don't want to downgrade him.
I want him to go sign with the Chiefs. And I hate the Chiefs, but dude, get that man a chip.
Give him a ring.
Chiefs are probably gonna get one of these guys.
They got to take him. I actually don't agree with that, because the fact that they have to keep Chris Jones and Snead. Dude, you have to keep those two, or at least one of those two.
Right.
If you don't keep Snead, you better get Chris. If you don't get Chris, you better get Snead.
Right. You got to invest in one side of the defense, the front and the back.
Since we're here, I think they keep Chris and they move on from Snead.
I would love Snead. Come on, baby, I'll give you everything.
It's so funny.
Philly, Atlanta.
Fuck.
It's so funny how like teams value positions differently, or the way you schematically build your defense. Like Chris Jones is a fucking monster. Yeah. But it's so funny when you can build the right secondary. The Legion of Boom was like the greatest era of Seahawk of all time.
I know I don't want to you can take your headphones off and plug your ears, but like what was the downfall? The Niners have no back end. You can do whatever you want up front. If you have no back end, you can't stop it.
Well, because Ward, who we talked about, he didn't play his best game, and like Gibson didn't play his best game, and then that injury to Greenlaw we touched on, that was fucking crazy.
That was horrific.
It was just crazy. That's such a freak accident.
And you know what sucks? It was in the fucking Super Bowl, and now that Achilles injury is going to hamper whether or not
he's a free agent, right?
Well, I don't know. We got to get to it. I don't think so.
I don't think he is. He's on contract.
I don't think
we're good with our linebackers.
But seriously, that wide receiver market is insane. Dude, not only in free agency, those names are bonkers. But you're talking about draftees. We want to do it.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Stud.
Neighbors is going to be 2.
Stud.
Dude's going to be 3.
I love me.
There's going to be a fight between number 4, whether it's Coleman or Brian Thomas. So you have those fucking 5, and that's not even the kid that might make it up to 6 as a kid from Oregon, because he's probably going to run some crazy ass number. Franklin.
Okay, that's
right.
He
might run some crazy ass number at the combine and be people like, dude, wow. Like
the Raiders, right?
They're
notorious for just, you have a fast 40 time, Darius Hayward Bay.
The tight end has, I think, a couple, but I'll run through it. It's more top heavy. There is only a couple dudes. So you got Dalton Schultz, Noah Fant, Hunter Henry, Mike Gillespie, Gerald Everett. And that's where I'm going to stop.
Mike Gesicki.
That's where I'm going to stop.
Everett's just getting old. He's got hands and size, but he's getting old. Fant's a good name on that. Schultz makes sense because he's had the most recent success out of all of them.
And Hunter Henry, has he kind of been a disappointment?
He has been recently, but he needs to be in somebody who's throwing him the ball.
And
it's like Njoku, dude. As soon as Flacco took over for the Browns, Njoku was putting up almost 80 to 100 yards a game.
I think Gesicki's that same guy, though.
Exactly. Yes. He's athletic as fuck. He had some of the greatest catches, one-handed catches in Miami you've ever seen by a tight end.
Gesicki's a total. So out of those dudes, Hunter Henry is maybe the only, and Schultz is probably the only 2 blockers. Fant's not really a blocker.
He's not a blocker.
And
which is funny because he's an Iowa guy. He should be a blocker.
Come on.
He's
got great hands though. He's very athletic. I really hope we re-sign him, but I don't think we should necessarily allocate. Not loaded. We have Disley and Parkinson, who are 2 good, but we don't have a blocker.
Colby Parkinson.
Colby Parkinson.
He's a free agent too. He's number 6.
Oh, fuck me, dude. Okay. Well, there you go. So we got to sign. So then we have Disley is the only one we have under contract.
Do you know the other tight end that came out with Noah Fant from Iowa in the same draft?
Oh, it was Hawkinson.
Yep.
Right?
Can you imagine that, dude? Those 2 fools?
Yeah. Fucking ridiculous.
The tight ends or the tackles, there's not really any big names. Tyron Smith's at 3, but he's like 100 years old.
Football years, he's aged.
It's Mike. What's his last name? Chuck. I couldn't remember it.
But you're the one who has it in front of you. Okay, we're gonna nail this. We're gonna be nice here. Mekhi Becton?
No, number 1. Mekhi Becton.
Oh, Mike. Owenu. Yeah, that end's got to be silent. Owenu.
Mike
Owenu. I've never heard of him, which is funny that
and
he's number 1. I never heard of him.
How you have Mekhi Becton even in the top of whatever. He's never even played down.
Long leash, yeah. I think he's played 7 downs across 4 years.
He's still riding that high pick.
Big time. That NFL favorship. They do that. It's weird. Sometimes they anoint these guys and they're like, well, we'll give him his 7th try. Maybe we can fix him.
Even if the talent doesn't show, then we're going to give him another chance.
It's weird. And I know that there's a premium on the tackles, but like, I don't know.
Dude,
I'd rather take a raw prospect somewhere in the draft and try to shape him than a guy who's never on the fucking field.
This tackle class, you might get 5 or 6 in the first round.
It's hot. It's a
big dude. I love
Fashanu.
I love the kid out of fucking Oregon State, dude. The right tackle out of Oregon State, dude. I think he's gonna be.
There's some maulers.
He's good. Let's go into your offensive line. I'm only just gonna have the first couple. Robert Hunt, Kevin Dotson, Connor Williams, and Lode Cushenberry. I'm not really sure about any of those guys, so we can just go on. You guys know any of those fellas?
Not really a sexy position.
Defensive line is kind of hot though. Number 1, we talked about a second ago, Chris Jones, dude. He is playmaking mofo. Christian Wilkins is number 2 from Miami.
Hot. That's hot.
Justin. Chuck's our
Matawabuki.
dude, he had a great year.
Justin Matawabuki.
That's a sneaky pick for you, Chuck, because he's coming from his best year under Mike McDaniel as a defensive coordinator. I think that he is a sneaky pick for you guys to pick up because also number 4 is Leonard Williams, who you traded for, correct?
Big cat, I know.
I think
the money that we just got. I think we free. No, I want. He fit that scheme so well.
Well, Justin played
so well.
Well, Justin plays for Mike.
I get it. I know.
Had his best year.
I love me some Leonard Williams. The 8 games that he gave us were like it was so fun. He's that humble, maybe doubtful, but I want to keep Big Cat. I do. Leonard, please resign, bro. Stay in Seattle. See it through. I would love that. That's what I'm pulling for. But we'll chip into that in the Fandom.
Number 5, DJ Reader. Number 6, Fletcher Cox. Number 7. Grover Stewart, number 8. I can't be.
Cox should retire, dude.
I do too.
Right?
I can't believe 8. Danico Autry. I thought he was pretty good.
Right, that's why he's at 8.
Sheldon Rankins and Javon Kinlaw. So you're losing Kinlaw too, home.
Javon Kinlaw. Both of those guys are just older and haven't really done anything in a while. Sheldon Rankins hasn't been good for not great.
They're those. If you can have that defensive line that's just moving, which I love when you can rotate defensive tackles. Of course. That's what those guys are.
Right, they're exactly. They're rotational.
They're spells.
For sure. Spells, great word.
Yep. This I think that this next position group is hot.
Okay, what do we got?
DNs or pass rushers.
Okay.
Josh Allen, Brian Burns, Chase Young should not be at 3. Danielle Hunter, Bryce Huff, Jonathan Greenard, Jadeveon Clowney, Zadarius Smith, Josh Uch, and Andrew Van Ginkel from the Dolphins. I think that Chase Young, all those reports when he went to 9 years.
It's that long leash. It's that athleticism.
Danielle Hunter is way better than fucking Chase Young, dude.
He's so much more consistent. That's for a fact. Danielle Hunter's an animal on the fucking football field.
If you're the Jags, you're not like...
I can't believe that.
You don't re-sign him?
If you're the Jags, you got to re-sign Josh Allen, right, dude? He's like your
It is surprising. Yes, at least you find a way to either get something out of him or you negotiate with him. You can't just let him walk.
Dude, he's like
you can't let him walk. Yeah.
Between him and Ridley, you're gonna tag
Allen. Ridley had we were all high on Ridley, and I snagged him in fantasy.
I did too, brother. Me and you were fucking hella high.
On well, you were high on the Jags in general, which that piece had to click for it to get to the next level, and it didn't. He had like 3 stellar games, and then everything else was crazy.
Brian Burns, obviously stud. I think that the Vikings have to tag Danielle Hunter.
How insane though! You just read Brian Burns. We have reported not only on this pod, and maybe you guys have heard it, that like 2 years ago the Rams offered 2 first-round picks for Brian Burns, and now you're gonna let him go in free agency,
dude?
No way.
That cannot happen.
You're gonna have to tag him too.
Once again, you have to get something out of him, or you have to pay the man.
That's a pretty
you
good.
cannot let that guy walk.
Who else should they pay him?
Exactly.
That's a pretty good list, though. Even down to Andrew Van Ginkel at number 10.
He can ball.
I like Zadarius Smith more than
We're dry,
Clowney.
yes.
But
Same.
Fourth beer.
While you guys are pouring that, I'm gonna run through the linebackers.
This one looks fun.
Do you guys know where Frankie Louve was at? Luvu.
Never heard of him.
He's number one. Number 2 is Patrick Queen. Number 3 is Levante David, Levante's been in the league quite a while. I like him.
He wanted out of Tampa Bay before the year, and then he ended up staying for the year and had a pretty good year. But he is old. He's a million years old.
Jordan Brooks.
He's 5?
He's 4.
He's 4. Okay,
dude.
Well, below those other 3 doesn't make sense. Jordan Brooks is a 100-plus tackler every year. That guy is sideline to sideline. It's because he's had injury issues.
Patrick Queen is.
He just came off of an ACL.
2 signings for Chuck. I got you 2. Patrick Queen and Justin. They both balled out for Mike McDaniel.
I want Justin Brooks back.
Okay, maybe you get all of them.
Maybe.
Probably not.
No.
Number 5 is Willie Gay Jr. I didn't realize he was a free agent for the Chiefs. They need to get him back. If they want that defense role, he's kind of the dude. So Frankie is from the...
He's on Carolina.
He's on Carolina too?
Really?
Wow, dude. So they got
he's
2...
the number 1
the
linebacker.
Yeah.
He was drafted to the Jets, but
I never heard of this cat. But
I don't either.
Interesting.
You know what I think is... They have 6 as Drew Tranquil. I thought Drew was a... I thought he was a strong safety.
Apparently they classify him as a linebacker.
Bobby Wagner's number 7.
Just because of his age. Do you know he led the NFL in tackles last year?
Dyrell Dotson, Blake Cashman, and Devin White.
Okay.
Both freaking linebackers from Tampa are on there, dude, and both linebackers from the Panthers. That's crazy.
And both linebackers from the Seahawks.
Holy shit.
Yeah, man.
That's a lot of duos going down, man.
Dude,
that's a nice list too.
We don't even have backups.
I think this list, the first 2 on this list are definite starters. I think there's some other good names. Jalen Johnson's gonna get some fucking cash.
I think he stays with the Bears though.
Do you? And then L'Jarius Sneed. Obviously, we just had the combo.
I think he's going somewhere.
Dude, I'd sign him. Come on,
there's
baby.
a lot of teams that would.
Dude, if we signed him, then you don't have to worry about that first pick, and then we can focus on line.
Pass me that.
L'Jarius Sneed is number 2. Do you think L'Jarius Sneed is number 2 under Jalen Johnson?
Well, they do.
Do you guys? Well, we're here.
I don't know. Sneed just won a chip, dude.
Dude, he's pretty fucking locked down, dude. I think he's...
Yeah, I don't know. That's...
Johnson?
You could swap
Johnson is a baller, too.
I know. Number 3, Kendall Fuller. Number 4, Jadobe Awuzie.
Good job with that.
Number 5 is Stephon Gilmore. Number 6 is Xavier Howard. Number 7 is Kenny Moore. Number 8 is... Steven Nelson. Number 9 is Jeff Okudah. Why is he even on this list? Number 10 is Sean Murphy Button.
Bot for Okudah.
Dude, he hasn't even played ever.
Yeah, he can't stay healthy.
And Stephen Gilmore and Xavier Howard, how much are you paying them to be old on your team? Like,
Xavier Howard's not that old. Stephon Gilmore is in his 30s. I think Xavier Howard's only like 28.
I want to say late 20s.
But how long is he giving it? Like, he didn't have a great year.
Oh my God. All right, so I don't even know if I didn't write down beer notes, but you guys, we're gonna interrupt the sports talk real quick for some beer talk.
Xavier Howard is 30.
Okay, there it is. That's that magical age. Yeah, running backs and not quarterbacks. Or not corner. Yeah.
Corner.
Not quarter. Yeah.
Corner.
Dude,
we'll get into Fandom.
Not there yet.
Can't wait.
Cheers, I'm excited for this one, actually.
I am too. This is my most excited beer I've been. Or the one I waited the most for. Fuck, I can't.
Dude, it smells so good. You smell that maple?
Oh, it smells like French toast.
It smells like syrup.
Yes. Yes.
It's like I'm eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
It's not fair.
Weld works, you guys.
Which beer is that? Can you send me a picture of that?
Absolutely. Well, we're gonna post the 4 beer. This is what the pod turned into.
Where's this at, Chuck?
Weld works.
Give me some notes.
French toast stout, baby, with cinnamon, vanilla, and a little bit of cocoa. That's money. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the maple though. It's that maple that gives it life.
Dude. Oh.
7.4 drinks at 7.4, and that is beautiful. Show him the can. Give him some love.
Dude, it's a fucking sick can, guys. It's got like the French toast on it. Check it out on Instagram.
Yeah. Let me see that can again here so we can shout out where they from.
It's a sweet stout. Not
it
too
is
sweet. Not as sweet as some of the pastries we've had.
But it's also not. The pastries are also touching that 10% and shit. This is at least 7.
This is a Colorado beer, Greenland, Colorado.
You know.
Dude, it's.
I love touching on different. Nevada, man, shout out because we source.
We got some
great beer. We source it from a lot of different places too.
But we also
don't drink it too quick, gentlemen, because I only got one.
Because we also had we also got a lot of good breweries here. We talked about the Lead Dog.
Oh, Imbibe, Pigeon Head. No, we have really good breweries that are local for sure.
Let's roll into the safety position. I think the top two are just absolute studs. Obviously, Antonio Winfield Jr. and Xavier McKinney.
Yeah.
After that, you got Carmen Curl, Kyle Duggar, who's Geno Stone, Julian Blackman, Jordan Whitehead, Jordan Fuller, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and Alohi Gilman.
Yeah, so, I mean...
The top two are all pros.
And then Kyle Duggar has the potential to go to the right system and make a difference.
Yeah, Julian Blackman, he was a high draft pick, I'm pretty sure, and he's just he's been okay.
A lot of the bottom of every position you've read has just been leashes, long leashes on high draft picks that could potentially still be unlocked. They have talent. We've seen it.
Maybe the right system,
dude.
Right
coach. Exactly. Dude,
that's what everybody's hoping.
Pete Carroll took a swing on so many of prospects like that later in their careers. Just smell it for sure. No, you guys, honestly, well works. Go look up this fucking beer, this French toast, if you like some sweet. That's yummy.
So let's just ride this free agency that we're rolling into right into the fandom.
Okay.
Let's start with let's kind of break it up. What is your dream? Give me your dream free agent person.
Okay.
All three, and then let's go your dream draft. Don't give me people. Give me draft pick positions 1, 2, 3. Don't worry about going 4, 5, 6, 7. How you want your first 3 rounds. Give me a position type you want you're looking for.
Okay.
Charlie, start with you because you're
right,
far
so
left.
you want one off
give me
a free agent if I could snag a market.
Give me 2, 3.
Goodness gracious,
Do you want me to
All right, well, here's the thing. The thing, if I'm going to be a Fandom about Seattle, is we need to re-sign those linebackers. Brooks and Wagner, if you're going to play more football, it needs to be in a Seattle uniform. With the cap going up by $30 million, we should find money. I think that Bobby has said if he's going to play, it's going to be in Seattle. So we can negotiate a fair contract with him. But Brooks, I don't know what his market is going to be, but as far as bringing in a free agent or a big fish out of what we just read, oh man, I would say that we probably need the most would be our tackle. We need to get healthier at tackle, but
I just don't think there's a tackle on the market
that would be a big boom. I don't know, man. Free agency.
So you want both linebackers, so that's 2,
right? I would honestly say if those technically are considered free agents, but if you're bringing in out of market people,
and
that's
your defensive tackle, right? You said you wanted to get Leonard.
Oh my God, Williams, it's true. If all 3 of these guys that is where I want my free agency to go. To be fair, I want to retain. I don't necessarily want to grab from outward because a lot of the guys that we just spoke on aren't necessarily big fish. Dude, if Justin Jefferson gets upset in Minnesota, please come to Seattle. That's my dream fucking free agent. That's.
You couldn't remember?
I mean, yeah, right. No, hey, that's a good drop. Call back.
So you don't love my Patrick Queen and Justin, the defensive tackle, call out because of Mike McDonald is Mike McDonald made Patrick Queen what he was.
I get what you're saying, and I understand that, but I think that a coach who's coming into a team that has a culture can learn from that team if they retain those said players, just the same way that a coach can build a roster. I think that you don't want to change what was being built in Seattle. You want to come in and you want to continue to build it. And Jordan Brooks is only like 26 years old. He's young, like, and he's sideline to sideline. You know, I don't know what scheme McDonald's gonna run. Do they run a 3-4 or a 4-3 in
3-4
in Baltimore? Then the linebackers are all important. Are you fucking kidding me? You need sideline to sideline fucking linebackers.
Roquan and Patrick Queen were
all
pros.
So it's not to say that, look, all right, if we snag Queen, if we throw him a contract, I'm not against it.
Bobby and Jordan should fit perfect in that scheme. I thought that the Justin thing would be the one that would probably go. I don't think he goes Patrick. I wouldn't be surprised if Seattle went Justin if the Ravens don't bring him back. I think he fits that 3-4. Well, he fit it because he killed it.
I want Leonard Williams.
T-Mon, what about you, brother?
So, Niners, I don't feel like have a lot of needs, but I think their strongest need would be on the offensive line, and with the draft having a better offensive line than it's had in years, I think that's where they look.
What about cornerback there, homie?
I kind of like the development of the guys that we have. I don't think that's as dire of a situation as the offensive line would be the first thing I address. And the second thing would be finding the other guy on the line. Like we know Bosa's going to be there. We know Armstead's going to be there. Hargrave is going to be that other guy. We need that fourth position. We were hoping maybe it was Drake. He still could, I hope, be that guy. But I think they either look in free agency or the draft for another tackle. Maybe one of those tackles they can get a friendly deal on in free agency. If not, that's the other position I look for in the draft to build first. And after those positions are addressed, then I would look maybe at adding depth at corner just in case.
So my free agent dream would be one of the two Chiefs. Whether it's Snead and or Chris Jones, I want one of them. Like if they sign one, I want the other one. After that, I would love to see maybe like a Darius Smith, like
a good call.
Like
he
a down
would fit Antonio Pierce's scheme
and be able to just come in and kind of spell like be in with Kuntz, but not
give you 10 to 12 magnetic plays.
Right, maybe. Not have to play the whole game, but come in.
No, you want him 3 plays a quarter kind of thing on passing downs where he can go 1,000%.
You got him, Kuntz, and then maybe bring him in
that could be a very good matchup. I agree with that.
I don't want the quarter, but we'll get in here in a second. I think those will be my 3. I literally want Snead and or Chris Jones. If the Chiefs don't take one, I want the other one. And then I would like Zadarius Smith. I think our receiving core is set. I think Trey Tucker is going to take over for Hunter Renfrow, who actually should probably be in that free agent list because he's probably going to get cut and or traded. I think Renfrow would be fucking perfect for the fucking Chiefs, which sucks. He would he would just light it the fuck up down there, dude.
Him and Mahomes could build a chemistry.
It's scary.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do. Charlie, first round, second round, third round of the draft. Give it to me. What do you want? Position
if we don't snag Leonard Williams, interior lineman probably.
D-line?
Yes, and in the first round.
What about tackle? I know my boy is kind of hurt.
If a couple falls, but tackle is thick, right? So we drafted 16. Yeah. So if there is that tackle, absolutely, I'm not against that either. Because in the second
right tackle, not because Cross is your left.
And unfortunately Abe Lucas has and it's kind of coming out. He's got that degenerative. It's tough. So
that sucks.
If it's line. Right, more, but honestly, for me, our defensive line. I love Jaron Reed. I loved the Leonard Williams trade. I love Darrell Taylor. I loved a lot of fucking Boye Mafe's locked coming in next year. He had a great season. He had like 11 sacks. He had 6 in a row, six in 6 games.
How come I like Chuck Strauss so fucking much?
but so okay, I would go yes, and then second round we need to go interior offensive line period because that's where the value is in that round. A guard or a center or a swing, something like that.
Dude, there's a couple dudes.
And then in the third round, if the trend continues, tight end would be very nice. If we're not able to sign either Colby or Noah, like that's where we'd have one on roster. You know what I'm saying? So drafting somewhere in that third round for high talent tight end would not be bad.
Kid from Texas.
I mean,
Sanders.
So that's what I'm saying. I think that is the way to go.
T-Mug.
So I already touched on it a little bit, but I think tackle is the most important position for the draft.
So you want one of those tackles on the board at 31?
I mean, if one of them's there, if we have to move up a little bit, I wouldn't be against that either. Just because I feel like that's the most needed position to improve. You have Williams that's going to probably play one more season, and some of the guard play hasn't been the strongest either, so that could be another position.
You get a guard at 31. Yeah. One of the top tier guards at 31 for sure.
I mean, I think that's
probably a position overswing though, depending on.
That's what I was going to say. I think you could probably wait a little longer on that position.
That's why I was saying second round for that.
Yeah, I know that kid from Oregon's gonna go in the first round. If he falls you,
that is true.
If he falls you, dude, he's number one center. Look what I think what the Cowboys did about 7-8 years ago, 10 years ago, when they took all those guards and centers in the round
tackle guard,
and they were guard tackle guard, and people are like, oh, they took guards and centers in the first, and it worked out. I think, dude, if you have the number one guard there or the number two guard, look at what
you got to take a hard.
You got to take it because it's improving the interior line, blocking for your quarterback and your running back is God. You win in the trenches. It still happens.
Didn't touch on this on the free agent part. But Juwan Jennings is a free agent. I think he's restricted, so I think they re-sign him. I think that also plays a big part in how they approach the draft too, not having to worry as much about receiver. And again, offensive lines, I think the priority, and then after that, it's just depends on how free agency goes, whether you bring in that other defensive lineman or another position. But that's definitely.
All right, so you wrap us up with them Raiders takes, bro. What you need in them their draft?
We're in a rough spot at 13, boys.
It's a weird year to be in that spot because the top 10 is satiating. It's like you're so close to it, but you're not there.
Well, it's not even that. It's the position that's the problem.
Okay.
Love. There's J.C. Latham, right tackle, Alabama. There's a kid that I'm not even trying to pronounce his last name out of Oklahoma State. Or Oregon State, 2 right tackles, I'd be
thrilled,
right? There's 2 corners, 3 corners that I'd be the kid from Iowa who Kipe says more of a safety, so I'm not like Cooper DeJean. They say maybe Kipe calls him more of a safety, but then you got the kid from Bama, not Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid's gonna fall. Kool-Aid might be like the Packers pick.
Why is that?
Yeah, he's just not. He didn't excel. You had the Arnold kid who is a much better corner, and he wants to fucking hit you. I think he would fit like the Raider motto.
I wouldn't be mad Kool-Aid at 16 for the Seahawks either.
I don't think that. I think you go D. I personally think you go D-line.
No, I'm just throwing it out there. Like, luckily, I've accepted the idea that at 16 we're gonna get a top tier talent, and we can go any which way. I just don't reach for the quarterback. Just don't reach for the quarterback. I understand that there might be some,
That's where I'm going, Charlie.
Okay,
that's where I'm going, brother. Okay. Sorry. So there's 2 corners, Nate Wiggins and Terrell Arnold. Nate Wiggins is the prototypical 6'2". I love big corners. But then there's that position debacle. You know what I'm talking about. The most important position on the fucking football field.
In all of American sports.
So how much capital you have to get to...
Three is the minimum you have to get one of the 3, the big 3. It's going to go 1, 2, 3.
Correct.
With the teams that are there now.
It's going 1, 2, 3 with the teams that are there now,
right.
Or it's going 1, 2, 3
with who jumps, right.
They're going 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so then you have the J.J. McCarthy and Bo Nix conversation. Because I think Penix, if you can move back up into the first round and get him, that'd be sick. I think you got to be looking at J.J. and Bo. And the only problem is you have the Falcons, and the other motherfucking team in front of you is the Denver effing Broncos.
And they're probably looking that way.
And exactly. And JJ, I think JJ is going to come out and blow people's minds. I think that we didn't get to see enough of him because of the offense they ran.
The system.
When you watch his throws on the run, I think he has you don't see Chuck's. Me and Chuck are on totally different things.
I can't stand JJ McCarthy. I can't. Maybe he comes out and lights up the combine. And I've seen some great timing throws out of him. I can't dispel some of that, but every Michigan game I watched, he struggled for stretches. And if you're that team was loaded. Okay, and I'm not saying he didn't facilitate fantastically because he did. I don't think he's the dude. I don't think he's the dude.
To be fair,
he's gonna be the fourth dude coming off.
He's definitely. There hasn't been a number one. There hasn't been a first round Michigan receiver.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean,
you're not going to convince me on McCarthy. I'm sorry. I appreciate what you're saying, and the offset definitely. So why there hasn't been a first round receiver in Michigan?
So
fucking Harbaugh.
Sidebar? Let's rank
or three sidebar.
You
triple sidebar.
You rank it out. Okay. Quarterback in the draft.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Give me 6.
6.
Well, I think 5 maybe. Whoever's. Goes 5 or 6.
So we know the 3.
Oh yeah, exactly. The 3 so 4 and 5.
What's your 1, 2, 3?
Oh, okay,
it's important.
It is. No, honestly, you guys are gonna dispel me for this. I think Jaden Daniels is gonna be the guy that out of the 3 of them is probably gonna have the best.
He's
NFL
not very
career.
big.
I think that he shows just this magnetic energy on a football field. And I think that he is peaking at the right time coming into the NFL, where Caleb had to step back. And we've seen USC quarterbacks get super fucking hyped, take a step back, and then come into the NFL and struggle.
I mean, Justin Herbert took a step back, and I don't think any of us think that he's not one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, it's guaranteed locked in for sure.
So your one is...
To me, honestly, I think I don't think the Bears are. I think the Bears are going to go with what the narrative is, and Caleb Williams does
I want to know your ranking.
Yeah. Your ranking. Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Drake May. 1, 2, 3.
4, 5, 6.
With a quarterback.
Yep.
As far as draftable, Bo Nix, just because that football knowledge is fucking high.
So 4, and who's 5?
And then 5, I'm drafting Penix before McCarthy.
And then 6 is McCarthy, or he's even lower.
Rattler above him. I would put McCarthy right there. You have to. Because
I'm very similar. I have Caleb at the top, followed by probably Daniels and May. It's really close between those two. That 4th spot, I like Penix
I love that. Thank you.
If his medicals are clear. If his medicals are clear, he's the guy I would pick between Bo Nix and McCarthy. After that, Bo Nix and McCarthy, I have them really close in what I've seen so far. It could go either way, but I'd probably give the slight edge to Bo.
You have to. He just reset all of the NCAA records and stayed healthy doing it. No, you can't scoff at it. You can't scoff at it. Well, dude, Trevor's trying to.
I
hate the Ducks. I don't want to give him credit.
So my one's Caleb. I think that if Drake May can fall to the right, I mean, they all have to follow the right system to be good. I think Drake May goes to the right system. I think he has a chance to be the better of all 3 of them. I think he's Justin Herbert-esque.
Well, I think he's better on the ground.
I think he runs better than people give him credit for.
He's an absolute 2-way hurt. Yeah, he's got legs and arms.
And I think he's Justin Herbert-esque. Jaden Daniels is easily 3. My 4 is kind of with Trev, but it has to. The only reason I have trouble with Penix at 4 is you have to be able to protect him. Yeah. Going 4 means you might not be on a team with a good offensive line.
That's very true.
So that's my problem. That's the only thing that's holding me on Penix.
He's not going to go 4th overall. Correct. But the 4th quarterback still might be on a shit offensive line team. Yeah.
So my worry with Bo is that the offensive system. Did he excel because the offensive system in Oregon is a very easy system to run to where. You know what I'm saying? It's because we didn't see it. My worry is that we didn't see it at Auburn. He struggled, and he comes up to Oregon, and he lights it up like I liked him. That's my worry of taking him at 13.
Okay.
Did he play? Is that system more that quarterback type? Because you're reading half the field, right? You're not pulling the whole field. Like where a Michael Penix is whole field reading, but you have to be able to block for him. His pocket has to stay clean.
He's timing.
Timing throws. He would be sick at fucking 13 with the Raiders being able to throw to Devontae and Myers.
He's got a pretty
That's
deep
what I'm saying.
ball. You can't teach that kind of touch on a deep ball, man.
And then my JJ problem is that we didn't see it.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time knowing
That's
what JJ
what I'm saying. I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. There's so much hype around this kid, and I've eaten a lot of turd sandwiches in my opinions, and I might be wrong on this one too, but I will stand behind the idea that I don't think JJ is going to come in and light up the league, wherever he lands.
So my personal preference, if we're taking it 13 and don't trade up, you take one of the other positions. I would like to try to trade up and get Drake May, Jaden Daniels, but if you don't, because then you would lose your second. I don't think
you're going to swing for that.
So then you take the offensive lineman or the cornerback at 13. And then you try to take Penix at 44 or trade back up in the first round and take Penix, and then your third round pick is probably wasted in that trade. But if it's not, I want interior lineman there, guard.
I love
something.
that pick right there. It makes so much sense.
So that's what I want. I want cornerback or offense tackle first round, and also and then second round I would like that Michael Penix pick. Give me back up in the first round and take Penix. Third round, give me that guard.
Depends on that equity, right? I get it.
Give me that guard, and don't trade Devontae. Why would you want to trade Devontae if you could put Michael Penix with Devontae?
Right.
If you get O-line first round and you do a good job and you take the kid that Latham or whatever, and then you go second round and you take Penix, and now your offensive line and you got 2 stud tackles, and then you get a guard in the third round. Now you're protecting.
GM Downey in the building.
Should be. I should at least be on the staff.
So that's pod 49, y'all.
Yeah, it was hot, dude. Good NBA talk. Good free agency. Keep your eye out. I know we didn't talk a lot of baseball. There's still free agency going on. There's still big names that haven't been picked up.
Blake Snell and Cody Bellinger are the two big. They're difference makers, big difference makers, and they're not on rosters right now.
And right now, spring training started.
Yeah, right, correct. No, we are playing professional baseball. It's preseason, but they're playing.
Dude, the uniform thing's an issue. We'll get into that later down the road. We forgot about that. Check us out on Instagram and X. Also, I guess start following basketball. It's down the stretch.
Oh, definitely pay attention to the NCAA basketball. We didn't really touch on that, but March Madness is right around the corner, y'all.
It's hard.
But it's my favorite tournament.
It's my favorite tournament. But it's hard to talk NCAA basketball because there's no
There hasn't been the dude. There's been the lady. It's
Caitlin
been
Clark.
Yeah. So shout out to her. Come back for pod 50, y'all.
50.
Cheers to that.